Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, this is the last video of the day, last of the long forms of the day. So it's my last chance to ask you to hit the subscribe button if you're yet to do so. There's a lot of stuff coming up over the next sort of short period that you definitely won't want to miss. I'm actually doing a Zoom call later with Leslie. Now, whether that goes out tonight or tomorrow, whatever, that's coming up there. We'll be talking about the story that I did earlier today. So keep an eye out for that. Now, we have a story here which is astonishing, really. And it's all to do with the hate crime bill. And as you can tell from the thumbnail, it's about J.K. Rowling. Because the police have decided that as part of the training. Now, you know, they've got to give real world examples, as it were. Now, we discussed a couple of days ago about the example of Harvey the deviant. And what would police do if someone shouted out deviant to Harvey? Well, they're doing it again. Now, I'm going to suggest that this verges on hate for what they're doing, because it's obvious who they're targeting and picking on. And so I think that actually J.K. Rowling has an absolute and pure case to go maybe prosecute the police for an obvious assessment of passing off and demonising her. I think there's a case of hate against the police here. I do hope that JK has got her lawyers on the case straight away. But we'll take a look at this, and it is astonishing how they think they're going to get away with it. Here goes. Police are accused of targeting J.K. Rowling with a fictional trans-hating character called Jo, who thinks they all belong in the gas chambers during a hate crime scenario. Now, J.K. Rowling, who is obviously the target of this, has never once said that she hates trans people. She's never once said that she wishes them any harm in any possible way. And so for them to create this obvious cliche of J.K. Rowling is appalling. And I think that she there has the wherewithal, she's certainly got the lawyers, to take the police apart over this. You know, it's stunning, isn't it? Police have been accused of targeting J.K. Rowling in a parody by inventing a fictional trans-hating character called Jo, who believes they all belong in the gas chambers in a hate crime scenario. Police Scotland hosted an official crime event where those in attendance were given the scenario where Jo was described as a gender-critical campaigner who believes people cannot change their sex. As indeed, people cannot change their sex. It's physically impossible. It is literally impossible. Doesn't matter what you do to your body, you cannot change your sex. Anyone who thinks you can needs to see a psychiatrist, because they're obviously mentally deranged. The youth engagement event held last month was part of a series of events held for the LGBT History Month by the police force. You see, again, women, they get Women's Day, the National Women's Day. Women get one day. Gays, lesbians, bis and trans, and all the other letters of the alphabet, oh, they get a whole month, because they're special. Now, let me hear you wrong. I know many lesbian and gay people. They do not bother me one in the least. I mean, there's a couple that I don't like, but not because they're lesbian or gay, but simply because they're just obnoxious human beings. But most of the people I know who are gay are fine. They've got friends, not a problem. Don't have a problem with being gay. Do have a problem with trans people trying to impose themselves into spaces where they shouldn't be. J.K. Rowling is the same. Now, at no point has J.K. Rowling ever said that she hates trans people, that she wishes ever to have harm done to trans people. This is a vicious calumny, and they need to be held accountable. It is hate. It is hate by the police on her. They don't like the fact that she is willing and able to stand up to this trans lobby, this minority, this 0.1% that want to run roughshod over the hard-fought rights and freedoms of women, and to impose themselves in places like changing rooms or sports arenas and things like that. They've got no right in being there. We need to protect women. I certainly do. I know that you certainly do, dear viewer. And so does J.K. Rowling. And she, of course, gives a voice to many women who don't have a voice. Either they're not comfortable in expressing it, or they're fearful for their position, their work, their job, things like that. And so they've got to bite their tongues. J.K., not so much. The fictional character was also said to have a large social media following, and women's groups claimed that Jo was a not-so-subtle attempt to parody J.K. Rowling, who has 14 million followers on X. The Harry Potter's author's name is Joanne, and is called Jo by her friends. She is well known for discussing gender issues online, and at no point ever has she done the things that this police play role is suggesting she's done. It is, I think, suable. It's identifiable. It's suable. It's obvious who they're getting a dig at. And I do hope that her lawyers are busy as we speak, scribbling down writs, asking for names, ensuring that chief constables get called to account and are taken to court and fined an awful lot of money. And that money is then handed over perhaps to women's groups that are there exclusively for women. This is what they said. Scenario 4. Jo is an online influencer who's very active on TikTok and Instagram with a large following. Jo travels around university campuses, filming inputs in seminars with students. During these inputs, Jo will engage with students and debate her beliefs around the LGBTI community. I've got to just say at this point, by the way, LGB, first 3 letters, that's all to do with attraction. That's perfectly fine. Nobody cares who you like, fall in love with, want to be with, want to touch, want to have them touch you. Nobody cares. Everything after the B is a mental illness. Anyway, during these inputs, Jo often gets passionate about her beliefs and will say things like there are only 2 genders, which there are, and encouraging all these mental health conditions are dangerous, which is true. And she said too many attention-seeking wannabes. Well, this is absolutely the case. You know what non-gender means. You know what non-binary means. Non-binary means it's people's way of saying I'm ugly, but I want to feel special. Jo posted her most recent video with the caption, "They all belong in the gas chambers." Now, if that isn't a direct attack on J.K. Rowling, I don't know what is. If I was reading that and didn't know that this was meant to be there, my first thought would be straight to J.K. Rowling. And so, yes, I do hope that she's busy instructing her lawyers, and that there are a lot of policemen out there with very, very squeaky anuses going, "Ooh, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. We're going to get sued." On April 1st, controversial new hate crime legislation in Scotland will begin to be enforced. Ahead of this, sessions were given to police officers in which those who expressed concern about male-born people using women's facilities were described as completely ludicrous. I am not completely ludicrous. If you describe me as ludicrous, I shall sue you. I have that right. I shall call it hate, and I shall complain. It is not ludicrous to protect women from men, and there is no such thing as a man becoming a woman. He may dress as a woman, he may give himself a woman's name, he may put on a bit of lippy and an A-line dress and throw on a pair of high-heel slingbacks. It does not a woman make. And it never will. I'm coming up. So, Jo, go for it. Go for it. Take these people apart. Show them who's boss. Show them that we will stand. Because we stand. We will not put up with this crap any longer. We will fight and we will fight and we will fight and we will win. We are many. They are few. We stand. Thank you very much for watching. That's it for the day on the long forms. We'll start this whole roundabout again tomorrow. Until then, have an absolutely brilliant Thursday night. I'm off to do some shopping because I've got a list of things that I was left by my good lady wife. If I don't get them, I'll be in trouble. See? Love you all. Bye.